Hi, this is Mr. Westeros, Most Stylish, and today I'm looking at question 1 from the January 2009 His2m paper. As usual, it's explain how far the views in one and the second source differ from those in the first source in relation to, and this time it's attitudes of the German people towards the Nazi regime. Okay, so source A is taken from a German village newspaper for 1935, talking about the apparent success of the Nazi Volksgemeinschaft and how everyone's pulling together to form this sort of national community. Okay, that's mentioned here. And everyone's just massive fans of it, basically, and ready to sort of support it. Whereas source B is memories, life in a small German town in 1933. There's a couple of points that are interesting. The first one is that the general feeling was that the Gestapo were everywhere. And I think that's really important because I think that although this is a source of someone who lived there, apparently memories, it does form quite a traditional historiography. Eography, if I could spell. Yeah, that's what I want, yeah. Traditional historiography, okay, where historians believe that that's what was the case. Originally, sort of in the kind of 60s, 70s, 80s, you'd have seen historians saying that the Gestapo was everywhere. More recently, I think of the work of Robert Gelately, you could say that actually people now believe that that wasn't the case. There just simply wasn't enough Gestapo agents to go around. And that point's mentioned later on, when like somebody kind of dobs in or grasses up, whatever phrase you want to use, their neighbour. Okay, so I don't know where we can mention that, but I do know that for level 5, an understanding of interpretations is important. So I think somewhere we're looking to bring in that point about traditional historiography, and I've just mentioned it here as I'm looking at the source. Okay, so as usual, we're going to... Oh, does that traditional historiography stay there? Can I get rid of it now? No, yeah. I don't know what's going on here. Bit of a palaver. There we go. Right, it's gone. Okay, so how far the views in source B differ. Now, the original straight impression is they are different. One of them is positive, one of them is negative, okay? Supportive, against the regime, whatever. So there we go. Upon first impressions, the sources seem to differ greatly. I'm straight into that. And one of the ways that they differ is in the sort of tone of the source or the nature of the support towards the Nazi regime. Source A supports the regime, whereas source B is against the regime. And I think for both those points, you just want to get a little quote in there just to back that up, okay? Then we're on to another paragraph. Another way in which the sources differ is their portrayal of the Nazi people's community, or Volksgemeinschaft, okay? Now, source A explains how the Day of National Solidarity showed that the German people really do form this kind of people's community. However, source B highlights that the community spirit the Nazis wanted to create was not a reality, because people betrayed each other in order to survive. So actually, they weren't part of this people's community of everyone working towards the same goal. They were actually just trying to, if necessary, betray each other in order to survive. Then I'm straight in there with some knowledge about the Volksgemeinschaft, a little bit about Nazi ideology, and what they're trying to create. I think that's a nice way to drop a bit of our knowledge in. Then I'm on to my third paragraph now. Okay, another way in which the sources differ is sort of, and I've called it this, it's a bit clumsy, I'm aware of that, but what people will do for each other, okay, is another way that the sources differ. Source B, some people will support each other and advise each other what to do, but even friends felt they must betray each other, okay, according to source B. But the source A says the German people appear to want to do anything for each other, getting together this big day of national solidarity. You're probably a bit sharper than me, you might have got a bit of a better phrase for the kind of the theme that you want to write this paragraph about, okay? So certainly have a look at that, but you get the idea. Then I'm now going to go across. Upon closer inspection, there do appear to be some subtle similarities. First of all, I want to talk about the theme of conformity, okay? Both sources do show that there was a desire from the people, if you will, or maybe not desire, that's maybe the wrong word, but there was a desire, an ability, they perhaps felt they had to conform. Maybe that's better, a little bit more negative. Perhaps they felt they had to conform. Source B shows that even when people don't believe in their regime, they will conform. They will dob each other in. They will actually do what the Nazis want. Now, that might not be because they support the Nazis, and certainly that's a difference, isn't it? Okay, but they will do what they want, whether they support the Nazis or not. Whereas Source A shows that everyone sort of conforms and supports the Nazis. Nice little cheeky opportunity for a little bit of own knowledge. Why did people conform? Drop that in there, and as I say, There we go. Another similarity, I think, is the sort of the accuracy and provenance. Now, we're always wary, aren't we, talking about accuracy, reliability, if you will, because this is not a reliability question. However, it is on the mark scheme, this point, and I think the point is that they are similar in perhaps that they're not quite really reliable. Obviously, Source A is a village newspaper, which is going to be censored. It's a Nazi paper. It's 1935. You're not getting away with writing anything other than what Goebbels has said in his daily press conference. I tell you what, that's a cheeky bit of own knowledge as well. Source B is memories of a life in a German town. It seems to be dominated or fixated on this one event where this doctor was sort of dobbed in or denunciated. Denounced. It was denounced, and that sort of uses that and extrapolates from that one point, and we wonder if that's what it was really like. And I worry about it. 1933. I worry about that sort of apparent total grip on the population so early in the regime. Obviously, the provenance, then you could say that neither of them actually form an accurate view, and I've used a little bit of own knowledge in there as well. Okay, so that's my fifth paragraph. You might not have got 5 in, but I'm giving you 5. 3 differences, 2 similarities. And then it's my conclusion. Upon first, it seems that the sources differ greatly, both in the tone, their understanding of the Volksgemeinschaft, and what people will do for each other. However, upon closer inspection, we can see there are some subtle similarities. Both sources show that the German people wanted to conform, and both the provenances and the accuracy of the sources are quite similar in a way. They're both a little bit maybe inaccurate. Overall, and this is where I think there's a debate, I think you can go with it. Overall, though, there is an awful lot of differences in the sources, and that's certainly the mark scheme answer. Okay, but I wonder whether actually, even though there's more points on the different side, could you argue that the issue of conformity? Okay, that is the big thing. Could you argue that? You could do, I think, and therefore that, even though it's only one thing, maybe subtly, the fact that it shows how much the Nazi people wanted to conform suggests that that's the biggest thing about the attitudes of the German people towards the Nazi regime. I think it's up to you. I think obviously the first impression, closer inspection is quite standard. It seems different. There are some similarities, but then overall, perhaps we can start to think, well, there's some similarities there or not. Remember what I said at the beginning about your kind of traditional historiography being sort of mentioned in Source B? Try and fit that in somewhere as well, because it gives you that bit of glamour for the top level answer. Okay. Yeah, it also says for level 5 that you've got a well thought out and well put together answer. And I think that, without wishing to blow my own trumpet, I think that that's what this approach gives you. We've started first impression, they seem different. Closer inspection, there are some similarities, and actually then that's borne out right through into the conclusion. Remember, each paragraph should start by answering the question. So another way the sources differ, or one way the sources are similar is. So start your paragraph with that. Then give me the theme. Okay, so one way the sources differ is their portrayal of the Volksgemeinschaft. Fine. Then get into the sources. Do not start with Source A and Source B. Okay? So as I say, have a look through this. Have a look at your answer. It was a while ago that you did it, but it doesn't matter. Get some advice down. What are you going to do differently? How are you going to improve this in a kind of redraft? Thanks, and bye.